Hi guys, welcome back to my video. In today's video, I'm just doing a complete overview of gold and my opinion on the market, and where I think gold may be heading soon, and some predictions really. First of all, gold has broken out of this 4,600 level, which was acting as resistance in the market. And I do think this could be a buy signal really on gold at the moment. Yes, macro in a macro terms, it is actually slightly bearish. We've got obviously still strong emphasis is on rates staying high, higher for longer sort of outlook at the moment, where we have interest rates possibly even increasing. We can see this by the rateprobabilities.com. See the Fed at the moment, and the ECB, they're all looking to possibly hike rates. 49% Bank of England, got even 60% on Bank of Japan as well, looking quite high. So um, we're in like sort of like a rate higher for longer sort of sentiment, in terms of the banks and the banks sort of outlook on interest rates, which is never a good idea for gold, from an economic and from a macro standpoint, because normally gold does well in lower rate environments where banks are looking to lower their rates because people think they can get a better return from a safe haven like gold. But at the moment, they're actually putting their emphasis into the dollar, which is pretty obvious. Because if you do look at the dollar at the moment, just here you can see the DXY is really pumping, and we've just broken past the highs here. So the big question is on gold: have we found support at at our level here, which we have drawn out at 4,300 to 4,400, and I think we possibly could have. Now the thing is, I don't believe that gold will go into make new time highs, anytime soon. Really, I think this is, but we could see some sort of manipulation to the upside here. Normally, when we have gold making consolidation markets like this, what banks do is they start hedging themselves, against news in the future. So what they could do is they start hedging themselves here, which is quite obvious. If we look at the uh, TradeSafe Plus, which is the fundamentals tool I use personally for my analysis, you can see on the COT regime, COT reports our bank positionings. We can see that they haven't really looked to have much interest in gold. The interest for gold is very, very low, very, very low here. So we're not seeing a lot of buying momentum on gold, which is a problem at the moment. Which is a problem because you know um, when we had this buy momentum, we saw gold make 20% months in January. As you can see here, look how much interest there were. We had that slump in February, which is where gold sold off to the downside, and now we're struggling to see any pickups, um, in gold momentum. But if as soon as we see this pick up, this graph, and we start to see, um, you know, upside on interest from banks, that's where we could see gold really make um, new highs, and that will be an interesting time to be in the market because when gold's pumping, normally everyone does pretty well from that because you can invest your money into something that's doing pretty well, so you get more money. Um, and we're seeing the net change quite, you know, not too high, not too low. It's sort of like in the middle here. So but it was very good to see 4,600 get broken. Now we may be seeing 4,800 be as our new target, where we may see some sort of resistance around here. We have got some pretty clear resistance in the market we had to go through, with this sort of 200 EMA being underneath the 200 EMA now as well, especially on the 4 hour. And that 50-day moving average possibly acting as resistance, you can see structure to the left here. But we do have a bit of open space on this leg here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I would have rather seen more of a manipulation to the downside here, to see that 200 EMA act as support, and that's where I think we could have made the new leg to the upside. But I do think we do see short term gold upside. But at the moment, the macro factors do say, we may just see it short, but then we may see kind of back down. I'm thinking something like this, and then long term, obviously, I'm bullish on gold. So that would be always what I expect. But this is sort of what I'm thinking of. Maybe for you guys looking at day trading, this is a better idea. For me as a swing trader, I'm not too interested in gold at the moment. But I do think it has some upside potential for people who are looking to day trade gold here at the breakout. But that's something you just got to keep an eye on. We still obviously are in a strong dollar environment, high rate environment, high inflation environment. And when we have high inflation, and we have high asset prices, people aren't normally buying assets that much. So we don't see that interest in gold, which is why we aren't seeing it. And that's why we've seen consolidation. It's just people aren't interested in it. Same with Bitcoin. That's the same issue Bitcoin has at the moment. We see Bitcoin here just struggling to see any interest at all from investors at the moment. People aren't really interested in looking to long Bitcoin in this current moment. Not to say that Bitcoin doesn't have, huge upward potential, but they don't see right now the best time to buy it. Probably because they don't have a lot of money at the moment. When we have this environment of high inflation and high asset prices, people don't want to really put their money in something like Bitcoin. They'd rather put them some money in the bank and in gold. That's why we're seeing yields shoot through the roof, because people were selling bonds to buy, to buy dollars. As you can see here, you can just see the 10-year the 10-year government 10-year government bond yields shooting through the roof here from this war, showing you that people are selling their bonds. And why is that? Because government bonds and the government are looking to increase yields because nobody's buying bonds, so they want to increase yields to make them look more advertising for investors, and that's the whole point. So that's my outlook on gold. I don't think we're going to make all-time highs anytime soon. Maybe towards the end of the year. Short term, I'm sort of very short term, very bullish, but overall short term bearish to sort of this 200-day moving average, where I think we'll see support. But if we don't see support at this level at the 200 EMA, then I do think the place I really want to buy gold physically, I want to buy gold digitally, is at this 3,000 to 3,400 level. Whether we actually ever reach this, I'm not sure. But that is my outlook on gold. Hopefully this helps, and hopefully this understands why we're seeing consolidation at the moment. And remember to look out for these sort of manipulation legs each side of the market, because obviously everyone's going to look to buy the breakout here, which will cause some sort of manipulation in the market, a reset. We're going for a reset in gold with the banks, as you can see, and then we'll probably see bank hedging here, upside potential, downside, and then we'll see that continuation. But yeah, that's my opinion on gold. Let's just see what happens. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. But thank you.